What's up, everybody? It's Kami, and welcome to a nice little channel discussion here with my boys, Zipper, Asuka, and Meti. We're going to be talking about part 5. You guys can introduce yourselves, I guess.
Yo.
Hey, I'm Asuka, or Nappy, or whatever. And yeah, Meti.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My name is Shimonetta, Funimation.com/show/Shimonetta. Please go purchase it right now.
There you go. And you guys should actually probably do that because Shimonetta is really good. I'm probably going to end up buying it with my next paycheck, I think. Because
Yeah,
Everybody go buy
I'm
Shimonetta.
convinced. I'm convinced. It's actually like really good.
Hell yeah, dude, I don't lie.
But anyways, for some reason, at least when I was reading JoJo and I was catching up, a lot of people at the time, so this was around last year, maybe January, February, a lot of people seemed to hate part 5, and I never understood it. At first, going into it, I kind of didn't like Giorno, and then it immediately took a 180 after I saw him turn Polpo's gun into like the banana, and like he shoots him. Like, after I saw that, I couldn't hate the character anymore because I guess he was like really quiet, and I had this expectation of, oh, since he's Dio's son, maybe he's gonna be like all wacky and crazy, but he was kind of quiet, and I didn't like it at first, but it kind of just grew on me after.
I originally went to part 5 being told that Giorno is the worst JoJo and that he had the least amount of character development. I was waiting for it to happen. Like, I was like, well, he doesn't seem so bad at first, and like I was constantly waiting for him to get bad, and he never actually did, and I just realized that a lot of people are actually just fucking stupid.
Yeah, a lot of people just hated on it because of the bad translations.
Yeah.
And also, like, they expect, Dio's son, so they expect, like, grotesque, like, behavior or whatever. But Giorno's just different. He's like, he thinks before he does things, and like, he's just not he's different. He's just different.
Giorno's intelligent with his stand use.
Yeah,
And that
was
makes people upset for some reason.
I don't get that, but that was like the biggest thing for me. Seeing how even when he kills Luca with like the shovel or whatever, just seeing the way he used gold.
I mean,
experience
technically, he
and, like,
never killed anyone
well,
with that
never
shovel.
really, yeah. But and even when he had his fight with Bruno on like the train and shit, when he got out and he had like the little fly or whatever to track him down through his like zippers and stuff, it was just the ways that he used it throughout the part. It made me like him more as a character, I guess, because again, going into it, a lot of people said it was bad. A lot of people said that the characters are bad. A lot of people hated Giorno at the time, and I didn't get it at first, and I could see why some people don't like him, but it's just one of those things where I guess you just, blame the bad scans for making the characters just seem, bad and just
Yeah,
everything.
because dude, if all you
overall.
had was Duwang for up until now, then yeah, probably people wouldn't like part 4 nearly as much.
But, like,
Yeah.
I got this really big appreciation for him because, again, there's also that really big expectation of, oh, this is Dio's son, he's gonna be all, crazy, he has to live up to that. But Giorno has his own identity in a sense, and I kind of really like that about his character because at the same time, I didn't want him to be like a Dio clone because we already have, Dio.
I really like that. I
and,
really like that he has nothing really to do with Dio, and Dio being his dad really means nothing to the main story of the series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like,
Except for that one time when Dio totally shows up and saves him from Diavolo.
No, that's fake. Stop it.
Dude, it's great. It's so good. Put
No,
that on the screen.
I got you. You just like send it to me and I'll put it there. But yeah, there's like, that's probably one of the biggest things I guess a lot of people have with part 5 that makes them not like it. They either just don't like Giorno or they don't like Giorno. And I understand not liking a main character, can really affect your viewpoint on, a series, because it's like, oh, well, if the series is good but the main character is kind of shit, it kind of just brings it a little down to an extent. But I guess people just, really don't like part 5 for a few wrong reasons. Of course, it's opinionated, so I can't really always just say quote unquote right or wrong.
No, they're wrong.
But
don't worry,
the
they're
series-
just wrong.
The series has a lot of like really good points, and like specifically in its main cast. I guess we'll move on to Bruno now. Bruno was really good, like from the
Yes.
jump, from the moment they show off Bruno. And I know Zipper is gonna like flip shit because that's his boy, but
Yeah,
from the
nigga.
moment
Wait, you're telling me that Zipper likes Bruno?
Yeah,
Holy
dude.
shit.
But
Wow, really? What a surprise.
from the moment they introduce Bruno, he shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm the boss for this little group of this gang and shit."
Well, no, when Bruno first shows up, he doesn't even I like Bruno's introduction actually, where he's like, "Oh, if I were to have like this, there's a bunch of money right here. Would you take it? But what if I was a cop?" And he like tests Giorno right there. It's a great scene.
Yeah, it's really cool. Again, when
He
this
seems
gets
like
animated,
this sweet,
it's gonna be great.
this sweet innocent fucking gangster dude.
But like, Bruno has his own goals of stopping the boss and shit. And as time goes on with part 5, seeing Bruno fight more and seeing his determination, and even, how he lives on for a bit after he's technically dead just because of his determination to, get rid of Diavolo. It really, I guess it's kind of moving in a sense, because it's just like, wow, like, Bruno really cares about his goal. He's really determined. That's probably the big thing about his character that makes me like him so much, is his sense of determination. No matter what's going on, he always has this one goal in his mind of, going forward and stopping Diavolo. And he doesn't, care about the shit that goes on the way there, as long as he can get to that point, and up until his fight with, Diavolo, until he completely just gets fucked over. He just has this really strong sense of being a leader.
Yeah.
And the way he's able to keep, everything in the gang, like especially when he's introducing Giorno to the group, and you have Narantia getting stabbed by Fugo and shit, and he's like, "Hey guys, I have a person here." It's just like he has this really big, I guess, father figure to the group, where he's kind of just, the main person in the group that kind of keeps everybody together. And it's really cool because, most of them in their group, they all tie back to meeting Bruno and becoming his friend in one way or another. And that's how they all kind of just assemble this little group. And it's just really cool, in my opinion. I think it's great. It's just...
Not to mention he came back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also his backstory, in which he picks the hard farmer fisherman's life over the easy city life.
Exactly.
Bruno's good. Which,
just fuck Bruno's mom.
I have seen a couple people say they don't like him, and I don't see how you can't like him, because I think he's the best character in the part, even though I really do like Mista. I think Mista's also really good. But I definitely think Bruno was the best character in part 5. I think he gets the best treatment also, considering, he gets a lot of the fights. Like, a lot of the fights involve him.
Yeah, it's like to show he's like really involved in like his goal,
Yeah,
and
and
he
his
doesn't
work
want to
and
like
stuff.
give
Yeah.
up.
Well, I like how the gang setting, where you have everyone is part of a big gang. It's not like a crew. It's not a group of crusaders. It's not a bunch of teenagers. It's fucking gang members, and they all team up together. It's like every fight is a team battle.
Yeah, and every fight...
speaking of fight,
Oh, go ahead.
Part 5 had some of the best fights in all of the series.
Oh yeah, definitely, hands down. Part 5 fights.
Grateful
probably my
Dead,
favorites.
Kraftwerk, and what's the other one? Unnamed Fortune Teller. Those were good.
Yeah.
What's unnamed fortune teller?
Doppio versus Unnamed Fortune Teller.
Oh.
God damn it. But yeah, like
Ring.
Got me with that one.
but a lot of the part 5 fights really stand out, and I think it also has to do again with the the gang setting. Every fight is a fight to the death, because Diablo's sending out these assassins in his gang to go and fight the crew.
If
And
we're
there's
talking
also-
about
There's also
talking about
people-
early part 5, Diavolo has nothing to do with the assassins.
Well, it's not until later on, but those fights are really good. Like, I really love Metallica and Doppio.
Yeah, but the funny thing about
great.
that is, like, they're technically the good guys in those encounters.
In a sense.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, the gang. No one's really a good guy in that part. Everyone's like
True.
an asshole.
But they're trying to do things for Diavolo. Our hero cast is doing things for the big bad while this is going on. And the assassin gang is going after Diavolo for murdering their ally.
Yeah, chopping him up and sending his body in pieces.
Speaking of Diavolo,
ooh.
best villain.
that's one of my favorite parts about Part 5 is that the villains, there isn't conniving, scheming shitheads
No,
who
they're
go,
just crazy.
not even just crazy, like, they have actual love and respect for each other. Like, they don't go, oh, he lost because he was weak. It's like, oh, fuck, our friend died.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And they're crazy fucked up. Like, I forgot what his name was, but the guy that's the doctor that operates on completely healthy people, and he just messes them up and kills them.
Dude, that's Diavolo's assassins. Those aren't
That guy's
Yeah,
just like
isn't that
straight up
crazy?
crazy. Like, Part 5 has this sense, I guess, of, you know, really doing the whole mafia thing justice and how like fucked up and crazy these inside jobs are. Because when you look at, you know, like mafia movies and stuff like that with like, you know, mobsters, you see all this like crazy shit that goes and you're like, ooh, and then you read Part 5 and it kind of does the same thing where I guess it grosses you out sometimes, or, you know, it gave me chills here and there. And
you also have like great spin-offs for Part 5 as well that expand on the gang.
The side books are really good.
Yeah, it's a very
Haze
like
Feedback and-
gory
His
part.
feedback was actually great.
Yeah, dude, Purple Haze Feedback is probably one of the best side stories I've ever read.
But anyways, to go back to Diablo, he's a good villain. I mean, he's like underrated for sure, because like everyone shits on him because like they
Dude,
compare
Diablo's a
him to
big
like
fat
Kira and stuff,
He's a
and
big
like
fat mess.
they're nothing alike. I mean, I can see like the comparison because like they want to be alone and they don't want trouble, but like Diablo's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have different forms of like psychological damage where Diavolo believes that fate has granted him access to escape it and like he has complete control over it, where Kira's just fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Kira's
Yeah.
a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, Kira's just this crazy guy that quote unquote wants to live a normal life, but he has these tendencies of doing bad things and, you know, killing people.
Well,
And-
to him, those aren't bad
and
thing.
to him, those are
everyday.
to him it's not
It's
like a big
everyday
deal,
life.
which is where it makes him, you know, really fucking crazy, and he's like stands out with that. But
Like
the thing that
that's,
I like,
that's one thing people overlook about Kira. Oh, wait, actually, we're talking about Part 5. I'll save that for a Kira video sometime.
but the thing that I really like about Diablo, and I guess a lot of people don't like this because they want, you know, a lot of info and closure on things. They don't like keeping things open-ended, but the way they leave, you know, Diablo's past all mysterious and his character mysterious, and the fact that he wants to, you know, continue to be this the gang's, you know, boss while keeping himself in the shadows. And, you know, even when they first show him off when he's fighting Bruno, his character is just completely shadowed out. I really like that they give him this, you know, really big mysterious big boss feel to him, and his backstory is just, you know, it makes sense.
They keep it mysterious whether or not he's even the main consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the time you see like King Crimson talk instead of him.
Yeah, and that like when he's in the shadow, his hair's slicked back like Doppio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about how when Doppio died, it was literally a split person?
Yeah. Yeah, just laying on the ground like boss, and then he's fucking gone.
Dude,
Yeah.
Doppio's death is the saddest fucking death in
It
anime.
actually is really sad.
Yeah, it honestly is.
Dude, where's that Watch Mojo meme? Saddest death in anime?
Just
Oh,
put
boy.
Doppio. Oh god, that'll be good when it gets animated.
Doppio and the frog.
Yes, but no, like
Dude, I love the
it
fact that
actually-
like I believe Jojo Agogo confirms that the frog Doppio answers the phone with is the descendant of the fucking frog Zapelli punches.
Oh my god,
Or no, descendant, not ancestor.
that's actually great. But like, I really like that about Diablo, because all the other villains we get, you know, backstories that I guess make sense. Like Kira kind of just, you know, grew up a normal kid. You know, Dio had a fucked up household, and his mom died, and he hated his dad. And then Kars is just, you know, the super powerful pillar man that wants to be strong and, you know, obtain perfect life forms.
Kars wanted to save his race. Is what he
and
wanted
save
to
his
do.
race. You know, while they were just like, oh, you know, that's a bad idea. You're gonna get too powerful. It's gonna get to your head. And then it did. And then, you know, he ended up killing them in the process. But then you get Diablo, and he has this mystery to him. And it's like, well, how was he, you know, born in what? It was like the prison.
He was
his
born in
mother-
an all-women's prison after 2 years of pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And
like,
unusually long pregnancies in fiction are usually a sign of greatness.
Yeah.
but it's just like, just that. I guess, level of bizarreness. And
Yeah,
not
it's
making
really
any
like
sense
weird.
is really that's really fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense at all, but that's what makes me really like it about him. Because, a lot of people like having closure on characters, and I definitely do too. I usually tend to not like open-ended things. I want to have like an answer for things when people ask me questions. But
Diavolo's character is all
character's
about like no closure.
yeah,
I mean,
his character's all about keeping it open.
even
for
his death
interpretation.
has no closure.
Yeah, because he just keeps
Like-
on dying. And
Diavolo gets no end to his suffrage.
he really doesn't. He just keeps on going and going. Another thing I really like about his death is that creepy little girl that just follows him everywhere and says a bunch of shit to him. Like, I wonder after a while if like he just gets tired of it and he just looks at her and he's like, yeah, this is not gonna stop, is it?
Yeah, Higaraki, could we get a dead man's question about Diavolo, please?
That would actually be really cool. I would actually not mind.
That would be
getting
honestly
that.
great.
That would be fun.
Hey,
That
part
was
5
awesome.
anime's coming. You don't know what's gonna happen.
They
Dude, I
could-
fucking hope he just give me now.
They
More
could.
part-
They
more
could.
It's
part
all
five.
about him getting over the fact that he completely abandons Doppio to his death. It's the only way he can come to terms with himself.
Yeah, I would love for them to do that. Because at least with the Part 4 anime now, we're getting like the Rohan OVA. If Araki were to write a spin-off for this before Part 5 gets animated, it would probably get animated, and I would definitely love to see that. I think that would be really cool. Because Diavolo is definitely underrated, at least in my opinion. I think he's an underrated.
Yeah,
villain.
definitely.
Actual use of the word underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of like, part of like the whole title of this discussion, at least when me and Zipper first originally thought of the idea was, Part 5 is kind of overlooked by, a lot of people even still now, while a lot more people are starting to
I
like
saw a
Part 4.
comment. I saw a comment saying, "Hey, you should read JoJo, but skip Part 5, because that was a mistake," and that honestly really offended me.
Okay. I think like part 5 does everything a JoJo part like does, but perfectly. Like, I don't want to say
Exactly.
it's perfect, but it's really like.
I think Part 5 is actual perfection and probably the best part of
Same.
JoJo.
Yes, exactly.
And I've seen people complain and say like it's too fast, and I mean I could understand, but
I mean, technically,
It's not-
it is
it's
a
not
little too
bad.
fast, because
It's
all
not
of the
bad.
all of the things that happen in Part 5 happen
within a
over a
week.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people forget. They're like, oh, there's too many fights here. Oh, this and that. Well, it's a battle of the week because it's it's the journey getting to the boss, bringing Trish there once they get that objective. And, it brings him closer to Diavolo so Bruno can go and, do his things with Diavolo and Giorno can go handle his stuff too because they both have their own objectives, of beating the boss. But I really like that all the fights have this sense of thrill because they happen so fast. And again, since every fight is a fight to the death, and usually the team is always completely involved with each other's fights. Like, you see a lot of duo fights, and that's what I like. I'm going to make a separate video talking about duo fights in JoJo because I really like when they have stands team up, more specifically in, like, Part 5. You see a lot of the gang members teaming up to fight. Our main
Probably
Pachyon
the
gang.
best fight in the series, almost the Grateful Dead fight.
Grateful
Yes.
Dead is really good. But we see, like, Grateful Dead, there's the Green Day Oasis fight, and, all the other stuff. It's just really cool to me seeing them have these, really unique
Oh,
stands.
fuck.
And that's another thing. The really unique stands of Part 5. I think the Part 5 stands are some of the best stands in the whole series. If we're
Fuck
being
Green
real.
Day and Oasis's fight though, because that point in the video game.
Shh, don't talk
Holy
about that. Don't talk
I
about
broke my
Oh,
desk
boy.
during that fucking fight.
Oh, boy. But I really
Hard
like the
rate.
way they have this sense of teamwork and even, the people that they're fighting against between using their stands in correlation with each other. And just this whole sense of, team value, like Meti talked about before, where everybody's like, oh shit, you killed our friend, and like they really care about it. And it's not to say that they don't care about, other people dying in the other parts. Like we see, Shigechi dies, everybody gets like, real upset about it, and it's like the
Yeah, but
catalyst
there's
for
no
them to
connection to Shigeki.
go,
No, but-
go over
okay,
them. But it's
but-
there's not the same, friend connection. They're just like, oh, like, you just killed this innocent little kid. But then Part
Yeah.
5, you just have this real sense of, I guess, everybody really likes each other. And
Everyone is really loyal to each other.
yeah, that's a big theme of Part 5 too. Loyalty. They always bring it up, and especially within a gang, even within just not characters together. You look at Sex Pistols, and how they defend Mista, you know, from getting shot by deflecting bullets back. You know, they have this loyalty amongst themselves, and that's just a stand, you know. And of course, stands are, you know, personifications, I guess,
really
of
love
somebody.
Sex Pistols.
It's really cool to see this loyalty when, you know, when Giorno first joins the gang. The first thing they bring up to him, and you know, Baccio not liking him, is, you know, you need to get him loyalty in the gang so you can even get a position with people, you know, because they were already friends with each other. And then they just have this new guy, and everybody starts to get along with Giorno eventually.
They made him drink piss.
They made him drink piss, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
For
he
loyalty.
totally drank that shit too.
For loyalty. But that sense of loyalty and having, you know, all the stand fights be duo fights, like seeing Giorno and fucking Bruno fight together is just really cool. Seeing Giorno and Mista fight together is really cool. And I really like the Giorno and Mista fights, like White Album. Oh my god. I did my top 5 stands video a while ago, and White Album is definitely, you know, in my top 5. I really like White Album. But this fight was just...
Fight's great.
It's so
Yeah.
good. And it's like towards the end of the series, it's one of like the last, you know, late game fights, I guess, that we get within the part. And it just really, it's one of those fights where it reminds you that it's JoJo, and it makes you really appreciate everything about it. Because it's just like a really JoJo fight, I guess, is the only way to really put it. I can't think of any other ways to, you know, kind of say that.
There's just such crazy fucking snippets you can take from that fight of just like Mista, quickly, Giorno, turn this car into a plant.
Yeah, or even before getting there, why don't we just get 100 cars?
Exactly.
Dude, there's a fucking great video where it's just like, Giorno's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard you say in your fucking life. Dude, it's
Part
the
5.
best thing ever.
Part 5 definitely has this really good sense of loyalty and friendship. And keep in mind, they're in a gang and they're out to, you know, kill each other in all of these fights. And they technically do kill everybody. I don't think there was ever a fight in Part 5.
Actually, if you consider Purple Haze feedback canon, then a lot of the gang members they fought survived.
Oh.
Like,
There you go.
funny enough, Kraftwerk's dude survives.
But it's the, I guess, the killing intent that everybody has that makes it stand out so much. Like, there's like, you know, this bloodlust in everybody when they fight.
Yeah, because like in part 3, they don't really want to kill people. They
No.
just want
just
want
wanna
to defeat them,
defeat
so that
them.
way they can like advance
Yeah.
to like the next fight or whatever.
In Part 4,
But,
the only person that gets killed aside from, you know, Shigechi and the already dead people, what is Keicho and just Kira. And then you get to Part 5 and it's like, holy shit, everybody's, you know,
Everyone
out for
dies.
blood. Everyone is out here to kill each other, and it really, again, it really does a good job of capturing the mafia tone. And, you know, we're in Italy, there's all this gangster shit going on. It just, the tone of Part 5, just all throughout the part, it really does a good job of reminding you what it's about. And, you know, like the whole gang loyalty thing again that I brought up before, and the way they just tie this all in. Everybody cares for each other, like Meti said before. All the fights, you know, are to the death, and everybody, even in the fights, everybody is so concerned over each other and what's going on. Like, again, with the duo fights, you see like somebody get hurt and they like, you know, kind of freak out about it, and they're like, oh shit, like Mista just got shot, and then, you know, they'll react to it and they'll continue to fight. And I guess it just
Or,
like,
like,
you know, pushes them on and gives them drive.
I was so expecting during the Grateful Dead fight that the cool, fashionable brother with the actual stand, I was so expecting that he was just like shitting, like bullshitting his brother that entire time, like. But then it turns out like he actually believes in his brother, like he actually believes, dude, your stand is super fucking good, don't you know? It's so fucking good. I'm so used to characters like that who are just saying that to get their brother to do something for them.
Yeah, but he actually believes in it.
Yeah.
He actually loved his brother, and that was like so mind-blowing for me.
Since we're talking about loyalty, can we talk about Fugo? Because a lot of people talk about Fugo and they're like, well, I think he's lame because he leaves the gang.
But he
And-
leaves the gang for his loyalty to Diablo.
That's the
and what a lot of
that's the
people
most
don't pay
like
attention to.
loyal thing you can do. Because like his stand is so dangerous, and he knows about it, and like even his friends know about it, and like, you know, that's like the most rational thing to do. Like
Yeah.
he can't keep going on
Yeah, he's like
with them.
he views the situation as a whole and realizes that if he goes on, that this is going to end badly for everyone.
Yeah, because if he uses, you know, Purple Haze he's probably just gonna end up hurting everybody. Like the one time he does.
Yeah,
It
and
does
even in
affect
the beginning,
everybody.
it says Fugo doesn't like to fight anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see why people
a
say
big-
like, oh, he's a bad character because he leaves.
No,
I
it's
don't-
a
that's
big
not-
misconception with this character. Like, I personally myself am not the biggest Fugo fan. Just because like
I love his
I guess I
stand.
don't care about him. His stand is really cool. But I just don't care for him as much. I guess.
Purple
just
Haze
as a
feedback
character.
gave me a lot more respect for Fugo.
But
There are people who
Fugo's
think
like.
that Purple Haze could be King Crimson.
God damn it, we're not getting to theories now.
Oh my god.
Dude, what's the theory that Purple Haze Requiem could beat King Crimson Requiem?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. It just
Stop
sounds like a
it.
big shit post. I should make a video on that.
Dude.
I'll probably get views.
Purple Haze Requiem is just mustard gas.
Dude, Fugo, what's your last name? Hussein?
Oh
Yes.
god.
But like, I myself am not the biggest Fugo fan, but I can't really hate on the character because, you know, again, it's one of those things where the way his character is written is it's supposed to give you this feeling of he doesn't want to do much. And again, his loyalty to the boss, because, you know, when he finds out that, you know, Bruno wants to go against the boss and stuff, and, you know, Narantia is like doubting if he wants to go with the group or not. And they're on the boat and they're like, well, you know, you either come with us or you don't. And Fugo's like, no, I'm not going to go against the boss, you know. It really just does show his loyalty to him. And it's a really
And
good
also
thing about his character.
Later in
Big-
Purple Haze feedback, he feels regret that he feels responsible for all the death that happens in Part 5 of the main crew,
Yeah.
specifically Narantia.
Yeah. Speaking of Narantia,
Narantia's
he's just great.
He is
Like,
innocent
At first, I
bastard.
was like, okay, he's like the annoying character, right? But no, like you see his backstory and like everything that happens to him, like he grows so much, and like, I mean, without Fugo and stuff, like during it, like on the second half, like you see like how much he evolves, kind of, and like
Yeah.
it was just he's great.
He
He's a great
definitely
character.
he definitely grows up a lot. I kind of
Like- His goal was to go to school.
Guys, remember that time Narantia got one-shotted because his long-range stand was an immediate threat to King Crimson?
yeah. But like
Yeah, it was
And that's
favorite part of Part 5.
the characters themselves are very
oh,
different.
don't bully
but
Narantia.
the sense of growth with Narantia kind of reminds me of Koichi because like you take the beginning of Koichi in Part 4, like the beginning of Part 4 Koichi to Endgame.
Well, Koichi, did you lay this egg?
He's really different as a character. Like he grows up a lot, and Narantia kind of does the same, you know, up until his death. And Narantia, his fights, he also he puts in a lot of work. He's probably
Yeah,
beaten I think the most people out of anybody in the Part 5 crew. I think it's around like
I think Bruno has more
3 or
victories than Narantia.
it's either Bruno or Narantia, but they both have a lot of fights. And there's also the fight Narantia has by himself with the.
Oh,
two
I
stands.
get. Do you count like Crash and the fucking tongue stand as
Yeah.
two different victories? Because I counted them as
Yes.
one.
No,
I mean,
they're
it's-
two
it's one
different
fight,
people.
but
I
it's
mean,
two
they're
different
two
people.
different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
two different people, but it's one. It's like one combination stand because the
Yeah,
tongue stand
but-
by itself is fucking garbage.
Yeah, and it's only a big threat because you have both of them together. But just keeping that in mind is you know, it's pretty cool. Also, Narantia's fight when he's going to get when he goes shopping when he drives off to get the supplies.
Oh yeah,
nutrition
against
stuff.
little.
Against his first. I think that was his first fight actually.
Little
Yeah,
Kid
it's
is
just
literally your
Smith.
worst Google dolls.
Yeah, a worse Goo Goo Dolls has to come in physical contact with someone. Fucking garbage.
Hey,
Rocky fixed it with the Goo Goo Dolls.
But like that fight was just, it was cool. It was really cool. And that's again.
the car
Part 5's
explodes.
fights. Part 5's fights. Like when this gets animated, because it is, you know, more
Dude.
battle.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch the episode where Narantia has to fucking knife fight a tarantula inside of a bottle.
But like once this does get animated, because it'll probably get animated soon. At least I'm hoping Part 5 gets animated because I really like Part 5, and it's one of the parts that definitely grew on me more as time went on. That's kind of how I am with JoJo. Usually, a lot of the things that I like about JoJo, I just liked more and more over time. But when it gets animated, these fights are gonna look so good, and I know a lot of people are gonna enjoy them. I know a lot of people that might have said they didn't like Part 5 before might have a new view on it. I hope.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I
you know,
can't
we'll
wait
have a
for
new view on
part
it.
5 to go from, oh, that's the worst part, to, dude, part 5's the best.
Dude, I can't wait
Yeah,
because
it's
these
gonna
people
happen.
are always like, "Oh, it's not as good anymore," or JoJo starts to go downhill after part 5, after part 4, and like these people are the same people that say part 5 is bad because it has bad scans and like that. Oh, they need muscles because it's a like manly thing.
Dude, why does part 5 have all these femboys in it?
Yeah,
There's so
But
much
Can we go back?
weirder than
it's gonna be
John.
great. It's gonna be great.
Can we go back to Diavolo and how he is like one of the most interesting villains?
I mean, we talked about Diavolo, but yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
he's really interesting. Like
He's
his personality, just like the way he thinks is very like weird, but it makes sense.
The thing I
He
like
thinks
the
of-
most about
Yet he's still
Diavolo
afraid.
is how suiting and how well King Crimson fits for his character.
Yeah.
You know, how suiting and how well Court of the Crimson King fits for him. The entire
Also,
album.
yeah. But he wants to like
Doing
erase,
for Hitman?
like just part 5 in a nutshell. Like, just every stand fits perfectly with like the user. Maybe not Fugo, but yeah.
But like, I do have a thing in the works about Court of the Crimson King and Diavolo.
Ooh. Oh, you
Let's
guys
just-
can check out for that. And actually, I've definitely, well, no. Asuka, I might have to disagree with you on this. What
Oh,
you
no.
said about Fugo and his stand not suiting him. Because like Meti mentions before, he feels like he's a burden later on. And I think that kind of just adds to his character, his loyalty. He doesn't want to put everybody else in danger, so he, isolates and pushes himself away to keep from, hurting his friends. Again, the loyalty in part 5. These people really care about each other. Like,
Fugo's stand really fits his personality because it's really wild.
Well, it's incredibly violent, like Fugo is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
yeah, you got the math wrong. I'm gonna stab you with a fork.
Yeah,
No,
okay, yeah.
That's like
I
literally
see
part
that.
of
I see
Fugo's
that.
character. Remember, he gets suspended from his college because he beat his principal with his fucking math book.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I forgot about that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, like, it's just, it's good. It's good. Part 5 is so good. I don't
Read it.
understand
Read it.
It's one of
why,
the best,
why
if
people
not
didn't like
the
it.
best parts.
I'm always on the fence of saying if I like part 5 or part 7 more, because I think part 7 is also, just as good.
Yeah, they're pretty equal.
From start to end. The journey's great. The characters are great. That's the thing I like a lot about both parts. I think the supporting characters and the like the side characters that show up and the people that they fight are really good. But I definitely think part 5 has the best main cast out of any JoJo part. Talking
Yeah,
about
definitely.
part 3, part 4,
They have the best
Yeah,
chemistry.
5, and part 6.
Do you hear that? You fucking JoJo colored scan people, you slunts. Fucking get to part 5 already. Holy shit.
But yeah,
It's
part,
coming,
Part
it's
5
coming.
is part 5 is good.
Yeah, they really need to get to part 5.
But I definitely think it has one of the best groups. Like, just overall, everybody really likes each other. Which, of course, in the other groups, in like, let's say part 4, we have Josuke, Okuyasu, Koichi. They're all bros. They all get along. The Stardust Crusaders are all bros and they all get along. But then you have part 5, and there's just like, and I'm not saying in other parts, if somebody dies, like in part 3, Avdol, Iggy, and Kakumi, they die.
Well, I mean,
and shit.
part 3,
And-
they didn't get along right away.
Yeah, they get along with each other as it goes on, and they kind of just open up to each other more, and they eventually.
Hell, there's an entire thing about how Abdul's character only improved after his first death.
And oh my god, his first death. Yeah, Avdol dies like twice.
Oh, thrice.
At
But
least he's
like
in jokes and does like 3 times.
Dude, Abdul like dies every chapter.
But there's this
Even
sense
Joseph.
of friendship with part 5 that I think is another thing that's overlooked, is just the main cast, the way they all get along with each other, excluding like Abacho not liking Giorno, but that's just part of the loyalty thing.
That's just because
like,
he's dad mode right now.
and he's just like, yeah. But I also can't hate on Abacho as much as I say I don't care for him. His backstory and how he became a cop and stuff, and ended up killing his friend or whatever. It's just like, damn.
yeah,
I feel bad.
That's
for
why
him.
he dad modes the fuck out of his crew.
Yeah.
And before the comments that say, hey, you hate part 2 but like part 5? Bad
I mean,
taste.
yeah. And I always say this, right? I don't know how many times I've repeated myself, but since Zipper's bringing it up, when I talk about part 2, I'm only talking about, of course, myself, but just in regards to all the other JoJo parts and comparing it, I think part 2 is fine by itself. Asuka and Zipper will probably be like, oh no, ill, part 2 sucks, ill. I think it's fine by itself. It's still good. And even for JoJo standards, as much as I, don't like a lot of things about it, it's still good. It's still better than a lot of other things that are out there. I just wanted to throw that out for clarity. So people.
And I think most JoJo parts are good, besides part 6, which is fucking god awful.
I mean, part 2 is garbage, but we can move on.
Now listen here, you little shit.
I mean, I'm a part 6 fan, but I can see why a lot of people don't like it. I also have my problems with part 6. I think it has the slowest start out of any part. I thought part 5 had a slow start, but part 6's start, it just drags on for a while.
Part 6's start is the entire fucking prison arc.
But anyway, I like the enemy stand users in part 5. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't mean much, but like in part 3, they're so like bland sometimes.
Yeah.
But in part 5, they all feel like they have their personality, and like especially like in the Grateful Dead fight.
Oh, definitely. Because by this time in Araki's writing, part 3 was his first time introducing stands, so he's getting ideas in. He's thinking of stuff. He's writing them in as villains of the week. And then part 4, he gets a little more intricate, I guess, with the stands. He has a couple cooler ones. You have really different stands. We have things like
I read
Superfly.
one of the stupidest comments on one of my videos, which was like, you do realize part 5 was written bi-weekly. Or like, it was written week by week. And I go, you mean like weekly shonen?
Yeah, like it always was.
Like all of the parts until 7?
And that's the thing that a lot of people forget. But by the time Araki got to part 5, and even in part 6, I think some of the part 6 stand fights are really cool. While there's a couple of ones that are just like, eh. But, like Underworld is really good. I think Underworld is pretty cool. But by the time he gets to part 5, his diversity with, writing the stands, he's more familiar with what he wants to do, I guess, with ideas. Because, as time goes on, and I can say this myself, when it comes to, like, editing or just anything that you do, you get better as time goes on. When you put more time and effort into things and you do more of it, you get better with it. So, that's another thing. I think Araki got better as a writer as he went on. Not to say I didn't always like his stuff. His stuff is pretty good. But by the time he gets to part 5, the stands are so good. The stand designs are so good. Like, that's another thing, a big thing about part 5 we haven't talked about yet, which we should talk about now, is the design choices for everything. I think the main characters look great. I think the side characters look great. I think the settings look great. All the places they fight with in Italy, going from, boat to boat, traveling through different places and different parts of Italy, taking the train, sitting inside of the turtle, all the stuff. All the design choices are so good. Like, of course, people are like, ew, they're all gay looking, wearing all this designer shit, and why do they have their stomachs out? Why is their chest out? Why are they so gay? And
oh, you mean Rohan?
Yeah, Rohan. It's just like, it's so dumb just to be so judgmental on that.
My favorite character design from part 5 is very obviously Karn.
God damn it.
I think my favorite design choice is probably Doppio or Mista. Because Doppio's design was pretty cool.
My favorite design choice is fucking a toss-up between King Crimson and fucking Gold Experience.
Oh, and there's Notorious B.I.G.
Dude, Notorious... No, dude, he's the best. Is that Aaron Hansen?
It's so good.
Oh my god.
I also really like Giacho. Giacho as a character. And White Album. Because we talked about this before, but let me have a little moment to, I guess, nut. The way he has his stand... Italian. The way he has his stand wrapping around his body as armor, and the way he uses it to, freeze the air, freeze the things around him.
To any non-stand
it's so cool. Yeah, it probably is like, what the hell is this guy doing? It just looks like he's like skating across the floor and shit, and you have no idea what's going on. But to stand users, you get to see this cool, sleek white armor that wraps over him and kind of gives him this little helmet with a little
and a very pissed nerd underneath,
neck opening on the back. Yeah, and you have this really, really angry guy. But
this really angry guy with glasses who hates it when you don't use the correct French words.
But like,
hey,
his stand design
have we
is so
about
good.
Kraftwerk yet?
Kraftwerk? Oh, Kraftwerk is a cool fight. Which,
yeah, it really is.
A thing I like about Kraftwerk, with its idea and how the Kraftwerk user was able to use the kinetic energy to lift up rocks and like jump across it. I like that they kind of reuse the same idea with Blackmore and Catch the Rainbow, how he's able to, use the raindrops to jump across them. Which somebody tweeted about it a couple days ago. One of my friends who was talking about them, he was comparing the two. I think Kraftwerk is the better stand because of Blackmore's big restriction to rain.
Oh, hands
given
down.
he's very powerful when it's raining, but he can't use his stand without rain. It's not like it's a water stand where
But
he can
dude,
just go up
just
to
like
a lake and use
Blackmore.
it. He needs to use it when it's raining. Where Kraftwerk, he's able to use
Very
kinetic
situational.
energy and things, and stop a movement and such. Like when Mista goes to shoot his bullets at him, he stops the bullets for moving. It's a really cool stand.
Yeah, dude, he gets shot in the head and just like, ow, you fucker.
Yeah.
Good thing I stopped
He's like,
that.
good thing I stopped the bullet before it could hurt me anymore. It's like, well, this guy just like stopped the bullet from fully entering his head. What did that feel like? Like, did it just like pinch him or something? It's
Nah.
ridiculous. Like, he's able to do these things, and it adds to the JoJo bizarre factor. It's like, oh, you
Dude.
stopped the bullet before it fully went into you. Hey, Sex Pistols. But
The end of that fight.
it's a good
Where
fight,
he-
and it's
where
one of the
he
first
just
few
kicked
fights
the
in the
bullet
part. I think it's like the first fight after they get off the boat, after Abachio's fight. Yeah, that is the first fight after Abachio's fight, and it's the Mista fight, and it's the introductory fight for Sex Pistols, which I think is like really cool. It's a really
Oh,
good fight.
it's really good. Like as a first fight for
Mista,
someone.
stop shooting the goddamn window.
And they're like fighting on top of a truck, shooting each other. It's just really cool. It's a really good way to start off the series, I think, because once they get onto the boat and they start traveling to go get Trish, at that point part 5 just picks up. I think it gets faster paced.
Yeah, the tutorial for part 5 is over.
Yeah, essentially they introduce the main group. They're ready to go do things. They have their objective right now, and they have this this drive for it. They're like, all right, let's work together, guys. High five, and then they do the dance on the boat before that also, which is
Ah,
great.
yes.
When the dance
Yeah,
gets
dude.
animated, that's gonna be awesome. Cause seeing it,
Dude,
in,
that's
like,
gonna turn into a big fucking meme.
yeah, that's gonna
Good.
be meme. People are gonna like take the dancing characters and Photoshop them everywhere, but seeing
Dude,
it in
you reposted in the wrong neighborhood.
seeing it in All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven, it's great. It looks fine. But when they animate it, it's going to be so great. And again, that boat scene, the teamwork on that. So they beat the guy, well, Abachio did. And you know what they do? Bruno separates the guy's body with zippers. They get his head. They zip his mouth open. Mista gets a fish hook, hangs it on the guy's eyelid, so his head is hanging from his eyelid on a fish hook, and then he puts a magnifying glass on the guy's eye, and it's just burning him. As they interrogate him,
Also, can
and
we
the other
mention that
side of the
Mista-
group is kicking the shit out of this dude's body. Like, it's what? Abachio, Narantia, and Fugo, they're literally beating the hell out of this guy while interrogating him. It's just great. It's like,
Also,
it's
Mista
so
looks
messed up.
so fucking bored setting up the torture.
Yeah, Mista's just like, oh, this shit again. And he's like, alright, so are you going to tell us your objective? Are you going to tell us where your people are? Are there anybody else here with you? And he's just like, oh, no? Okay. But it's great. It's great. It's great. It's so good. So good. Part 5 is so fucking good. I can't emphasize this. I don't get why people hate it again.
I don't
Don't
either.
understand where the hate comes from. Like, I understand, there's bad translations, bad scans can throw you off. It might make you, not appreciate things. But if I was able to read through bad scans, because by the time I read part 5, I want to say it was colored up until after Narantia's fight, maybe, or it was stopped like halfway. So I had to
Yeah.
read the really bad black and white scans after that, all the way through, which they're still, there. Given when people get to the anime, and for anime only people, they're gonna get a good treat of being able
They're
to see
gonna
part
get-
5 animated like really well. Like they have
They're
it
gonna
good.
get a colored animation of part 5 before we get colored fucking scans.
Yeah, pretty much. But
So
They're-
pissed.
if
We're
I
probably
could
gonna rush
read
the
it
scans.
in black and white with the shitty scans and still appreciate everything that goes on, given I had moments where I was confused, like the very first time I saw King Crimson, I was a little thrown off, and then I found out, oh, he's just wasting time. It's not that difficult to understand. It was just like, okay. I had a couple other moments where I was a little lost, like the Green Day Oasis fight. I was a little lost at some panels on what was going on, but I was still able to put 2 and 2 together. So if I could do it there's no excuse or reason for you to not do it also. Meti did it, Asuka did it, Zipper did it, everybody else that's finished part 5 has done it. Everybody else that's read JoJo and has passed part 5 has done it, hopefully. Unless you skip parts in which you should, not do that.
Disgusting.
And you go back and
There-
read.
Here's a noose for you somewhere.
And yeah, just jump off a cliff. But if I could do it, you can do it. Part 5 is not a bad part. It's really good. It's really underrated. The stands are amazing. The stand designs are amazing. The characters are amazing. The character designs are amazing. The setting is really good. And when it gets animated, all the JoJo music is really good. But the music for this is gonna be so good.
Oh, Italian music.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be Italian disco.
It's gonna
dude,
be like
I'm calling it.
Italian music and like rock music and all the fights.
Disco.
I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. When they get into all the fights and shit, there's gonna be some like heavy ass rock music playing, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be metal as fuck. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But this part is kind of metal too. A lot of the character designs look very rock.
Will the opening be CG?
No. I don't know what they're gonna do for the opening
I
though.
don't think they'll do CG again after stopping it for part 4, which I wish they did because I really like the CG openings. I think they're really good. But
CG was only used to emphasize the muscles.
Yeah. But I don't know what they're gonna do for the opening. Probably something kind of serious because it's not like part 4. It's not like goofy until Kira appears.
Italian disco and rock combined.
Oh god.
and
But
keep
yeah,
in mind,
it should be
Rock.
interesting.
Part 5 still has goofy moments, and they still have a lot of fun. Just because we've been saying, all this serious stuff about it, does not mean there aren't moments where they sit here and make jokes. Even when they're about to fight
yeah.
Diavolo, and they're in the final fight, and they have the body swaps. You have like Trish and Mista's body, and vice versa. And Trish is like over here freaking out about how dirty Mista is and shit. And he's like, "Hey, am I really that dirty?" It's just like these goofy little interactions between each other and the friendly banter. And again, Fugo stabbing Naransi with the fork. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny. Like the interactions between them, because they're all just bros. Like you really have this emphasis that everybody's a friend of each other, and they really show it. They really care about each other. And friends, of course, have jokes with each other. We pick on each other. We say a lot of dumb shit. Fuck Zipperfag. He's gay. That guy's stupid.
Wow.
Wow, that's gay.
But I still love him. That's still my boy. That's my bro.
Gay.
Gay?
Gay folks.
No homo.
Your boy?
No homo.
That's gay.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, but I thought we were all little girls here. What?
I mean,
shit.
it's true.
I mean, Meti's a girl.
Oh yeah.
Time to get drunk.
Meti's an anime girl.
Yeah.
But the characters have this good sense of friendship. The characters have a lot of fun with each other, and in various different ways. Mista and Giorno, those are my boys, but they do some questionable things sometimes. But
Oh my god, dude, that scene is so good.
Wait, can we talk about this for a second?
yeah,
Mista is the brojo, not Bruno.
yeah.
Oh,
I
hey.
thought that was kind of clear. I mean, that's at least how. That's at least how I see it.
Do you wanna talk,
It's
Zipper?
like Bruno's.
That was the best bait I've ever heard of.
Dude, is this part 7? That's some pretty solid bait.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
But like, that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I think Mista's more of the brojo. He's definitely really close
Bro,
to.
They have way more moments together.
He's closer.
Like, they're
I'd say he's
closer.
closer to Giorno than Bruno, even though Bruno is really close to Gio. They get along well. But Mista just.
But Bruno's the one
Seems
who
like-
helps Giorno find his helps him achieve his goal. Bruno's definitely the brojo, but Giorno's the living brojo.
Well, if anything, like Bruno's like the mentor in a way. But
Yeah,
no.
that's how I see Bruno. Like I mentioned before.
Wait, so is
Uh,
William Zappelli not a brojo?
No.
Dude,
I mean, who else is there? Speedwagon. Speedwagon's a
dude,
brojo.
Dyer's clearly the brojo. Okay?
Dyer being good.
Oh, dude,
Dyer being
I
a
guess
brojo.
you're right,
Nice.
dude. I mean, number 1 stand fights. Number 2 is Grateful Dead. Number 1 is Dyer versus Dio.
Oh, man.
Best fight.
Hey, Jonathan, I understand you hate this guy, but I also hate this guy for no reason. Let me fight him first.
Yo, Jonathan, I get it. This guy killed your dad, but this guy killed my friends.
Let me do this attack with perfect offense and defense.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
let's
what happened?
slow down.
Let me make myself less strong, even though I was moving so fast that I made after images of myself, and I probably could have done something
Let
to this
me
guy.
jump and do a
Let
Godzilla
me-
level kick.
Let me do a dive kick real quick and get myself killed, because the Vampire Man can split my legs apart wide open and
Freeze
freeze
time. Yeah.
Dude, though Dyer still threw a rose as a decapitated head.
me. Yeah, and he was. I don't. That was weird.
And then he winked at Jonathan and said, "You got him, buddy."
Like.
No, Kami, we're not getting to that.
Dyer, we're not getting into these things.
Dude, fuck Dyer.
Dyer's.
Who?
No,
Who?
dude, Dyer's the Brojo.
Dude, shut up.
But no, Mista's good. I like Mista. Mista's a great character.
I
I don't see
think the
why
only one we haven't
you
talked
could
about it.
hate Mista. I think Mista's great.
Yeah,
we haven't
no.
talked about Trish.
Yeah,
if
that's what I was
Okay,
getting
Trish
at.
is bad.
No, Trish is not bad. What are you
Trish is
talking
good.
about?
Trish is pretty good.
You know what
I'm
I
not
don't
saying she's
understand?
like the best
Hey,
character.
People in the Discord, I'm not gonna throw names, but I've heard a couple people, and I've seen a couple people in text chat say they don't like Trish for the reason that she doesn't do anything, but they don't realize she's not supposed to do anything. They're like, why does she never use Spice Girl? Well, she has one fight, and that's it. She's not supposed to be fighting. She's not there to
Also-
fight. They're there to
Like,
transport
also,
her.
we
The
talked
whole
about how
point of
long.
Trish's character, she starts off as a defensive, like, bratty tsundere child girl, and she grows to be part of the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, she becomes her friend. And
For
For a
people,
while,
like,
she's scared of Stand users because like she's like, "What's going on? I'm scared. Is this happening to me? Who's my dad? Why are we doing this?" But
Will my dad like me? Yeah, dude, she loves you. He
Yeah,
loves you. Don't worry.
Totally loves her. But it's like,
Yep.
I guess she has this quote unquote damsel in distress kind of characteristic. And
I
them
mean, in the beginning,
transporting-
yeah.
And then
Well,
transporting
maybe,
her.
like,
Like,
that-
not,
that's
not all
mainly
the
just-
way.
any non-stan user is a damsel in distress in part 5. All of the people on the train.
Oh yeah, all the people that died because Grateful Dead.
There's a lot of death in part 5.
There's a lot of people that just
Part
get
5 is one of the
bodied.
more serious, but also more lighthearted parts.
Yeah, it has its goofy moments, but there's a lot of realism in part 5 where it's like,
yeah, like the
oh,
two
shit.
the two drunkards who just fall apart in the fucking Oasis and Green Days.
Yeah. A lot of innocent people die for no particular reason, but you know, it's JoJo.
That's
happens.
Gangsta's Paradise.
It's
That's how it
it's a
is.
gangster life, you know. Sometimes you're just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then you get shot and you're dead. You can't do nothing about it. But Trish's character gets better, and people say they don't like her for not doing things, but again, she's not supposed to do anything. She's just there to be transported to Diablo given he wants to kill her, and they don't know that right away. But she's not meant to fight. I will never understand why people say they want Trish to fight more. Why does she not use Spice Girl? It's like, shut up. She's not meant to fight. Not every JoJo character is meant to fight. Given part 5 is
Yeah.
probably the most like battle manga part, because there's a fight going on like every 5 seconds, and everything is happening in a week. So you gotta also remember, they're barely getting any rest. They're, you know, eating here and there. They're not showering. They're not doing anything. They're like, you know, pushing through, fighting everybody on their way until they get to Diablo, and they're still fighting every like 5 seconds. And a lot of people, you know, don't pay attention to this, and a lot of people overlook this, and that's probably my biggest problem with people that say they don't like part 5. They overlook a lot of the things of it. They overlook a lot of the themes of the part. You know, the whole loyalty thing is probably like the biggest theme of part 5. And people just, they hate it for wrong reasons. They hate the characters for wrong reasons. It's like we mentioned before with Fugo, his loyalty to the boss makes him not want to, you know, go fight the boss. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to go with you guys. You know, bye. Have fun. And he stays.
Have
and
fun.
Nausea jumps into the water, and, you know, he swims onto the boat, and he's like, all right, guys, I'm decided I'm coming with you. And, you know, they're like, all right, we need you to come through. And they help him up onto the boat. But you can't hate, you know, Fugo or Trish for not doing things when, you know, Fugo doesn't want to do things out of loyalty, and Trish isn't meant to do things. She's just there. They're transporting her. She's not meant to fight. That's like people that complain about stands that don't do like damage, or they're like, oh, this stand is useless because I can't punch things. Well, not every stand is meant to, you know, be used for combat. There's other different stands, like I believe Malone is the guy in part 5. He has a computer stand.
Yeah. Dead. Wait. Dead baby.
What's
Is
the
that a baby face?
Babyface, I think.
Fuck
Not-
Babyface. That's probably the worst fight in part 5.
It's short, so whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's short, and I'm happy that it's short. But man, it also shows Gold Experiences has a range of fucking infinity.
Yeah, it's a range of life and life cycle, and
Because
that's
he turns a pipe like
that's
across the fucking continent into a snake.
that's a big thing I like about Giorno, because technically, by technicality, Dio having Jonathan's body, he's technically, Jonathan's son. He's a Joestar. He has the Joestar mark. But if you remember when Jonathan uses his Hamon for the first time and he grabs a tree branch, which many may note this in his videos, and that's kind of why I just remember making the connection between the two. He has this sense of life to his power. He's able to make the
No, that's just because
branch,
Hamon is life energy.
sprout out, and Hamon is life energy. You have Giorno with Gold Experience, whose powers kind of revolve around giving things life, and
I love that.
the flower
That's his
connection.
power.
It's so cool seeing them connect the two characters here, because
Gold
technically it's his
Experience is
son
better
in a way. And it's cool to see this. It's great seeing Giorno with this thing for Golden Experience. Also really like when he leaves the flowers around Narantia when he dies. It's
Well,
it's
spoiler.
really nice.
I'm on page 3.
Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah, dude.
I have a spoiler
Stop
warning.
being
I have a
spoiler.
spoiler warning in my intro. If anybody ever complains about a spoiler on my video, I'm gonna ask them if they watched the video, because it's in the first like 10 seconds. But
Dude, that's just no. Don't worry, dude. That will get completely ignored. People still tell me that fucking Eyes of Heaven isn't canon. Both they're wrong, and also I say I'm using non-canon stands at the beginning.
people don't
But
they don't pay attention to things. But I like that about Giorno and his connection to Jonathan. I guess it's a very small thing. It's a minor detail, but it's cool to see them both have this thing of life. And I guess to an extent, even though Giorno wants to be the gangstar, they kind of have this little noble sense to them, to both of their characters.
Well, Giorno wants
Yeah.
to be a gangstar so he can run the country correctly.
I hate drugs.
Yeah,
Drugs.
drugs are bad.
That-
Let's get rid of
That
drugs.
fucking one panel shot of him going drugs.
But real quick, like the stand cries, I like that like they're different
Yeah.
because it's not or Muda Muda. I mean,
Well,
it
there's
is,
Muda, but then we have Ari for Arriva Derchi.
yeah, and then there's
Arriva Derchi's
Bora Bora
really
And
and
good.
there's
for
Wannabe.
Bora Vida, I think. And yeah, I like that Araki tried something else. Like, it's because normally like Okuyasu doesn't have a stand cry. He's just
He's just
hitting.
punching things. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
just be like, nah, and hit things.
Yeah,
It's kinda
but I like that. Yeah, Araki just went with it.
He stepped his game up definitely with part 5. It's very different from the other parts.
There's a big like you can see like a big like
There's a big difference from everything else. Part 5 is
it's a big
really-
upgrade, I'd say, from
Yeah.
part 4 in terms of everything.
Part 5, one of the biggest things.
Part 4
for
has
me
like
about
too
it
many characters.
Is that
Part
part
five
5 it stands out so much. It's so unique with
Yeah.
JoJo, because a lot of JoJo tropes and things kind of just carry over. We kind of see a lot of things that are kind of similar in JoJo parts. Part 7, all the similar faces. Everybody looks the same. Araki using the same face for Mista and Kosaku. Just things like this that carry over. But part 5.
Dude, are these the
definitely
same
feels-
characters?
Wait.
Oh shit, dude! It's the same. It's almost like the same
Dude,
guy.
Game
Is
is drawing this.
Kosaku just Mista in an alternate universe? Game theory.
Holy shit, dude! But hey, that's just a theory. But it's almost like it's the same person writing this. Wow. But part 5 has a really good job of presenting its ideas in a way that's both different and similar to the series. It definitely brings a lot to the table. It has a good villain. Again, I don't understand why people don't like Diavolo. At first, I was kind of on him, but again, as time went on, I kind of appreciated him a little more. And rereading parts of part 5 for videos and for this one, I really ended up liking him more than I did before.
Part 5 is part 3 done perfectly.
Yes, I agree.
Holy shit,
I
you're
mean,
right.
they're like different, but you see like
It's part 5 is part 3 if it was like
you see the
it wasn't
parallels.
perfect, like,
Also, the very religious symbolism of the Son of God defeats the devil.
Yeah.
that one too.
Yeah. It's a great part though. I love it. It stands out. It brings a lot to the table. It definitely shows Araki's improvement as a writer and as an artist. The part 5 art is really nice. I like like I've mentioned before. I'm gonna keep mentioning it. I don't care. Because people are always like, oh, Kami, why do you repeat yourself so much? Because I want you guys to understand that these things are really good and I really like them, okay? If I'm repeating something, if I keep saying I like Mista, I want you to know I like Mista. If I tell you that the character designs are good, I'm telling you the character designs are good, nigga. Look at that shit. Look at the way these characters look. They look amazing. The art looks amazing. Everything is gorgeous. Part 5 is fabulous, okay? It's good.
I think we should like wrap up now.
Yeah. So, if you guys enjoyed all of our ramblings and our little talks about part 5, which this is pretty fun to do, because we all have pretty different opinions on a lot of things, but for the most part, we can agree on a lot of things. We also have different viewpoints and different ways of, liking things about certain parts, and that's why I wanted to kind of include more people in this, as because we all, like characters. We like characters for different reasons. I think it's good for, the viewers to get a different viewpoint on things and to not just hear me always talking about things sometimes. So, I guess I'll link Meti's channel for sure in the description. I don't know if Asuka and Zip want me to link anything in there.
Do it.
We'll talk about that.
Do
Zipper,
it.
you can go look at Zipper and Asuka's shitpost videos. They're really good. Asuka has the one part 5
Mine's
video.
not. Mine is not. No.
And Zipper has.
That's all my videos good.
But you guys can check that out. I would I always say you can join the Discord. I'm not gonna leave a link. You guys can go to X versus channel and figure that shit out.
No,
But or
And
just
if you
not,
find it, well,
or just not. If
don't.
you find it,
Reddit.
but
Don't.
don't ask me for a link. It's not my server. I'm just there, okay? So don't ask me for shit, except JoJo recommendations. Or
Is this the beginning of a new podcast?
yes,
Oh my god.
let's do it. But if you guys have any other video ideas or any other things that you want to see us talk about in this fashion, go ahead and comment down below. Because I'm totally down for doing this again if you guys ever want to, or anybody ever gets a random idea, or we can just make a podcast, dude. I'm totally down for it.
Yeah,
It's
that'd
up
be
to
cool.
you guys.
Dude, a theory is Love Train Dyer's stand.
No, shut the fuck up.
But
like, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Non-subscribe.
yeah, unsubscribe.
Yeah,
I'm bad.
Yeah.